Tonight on YPN News, parasites in the brain. Doctors are saying it's a very common occurrence. Could your dating profile on your smartphone be bringing unwanted problems? Killing for money? What police say drove one man to murder his own parents. And Donald Trump continues to make waves in the political world as the U.S. sets records on legalized marijuana. I'm Charity Heimerman, and this is YPN News, bringing you the news as it relates to Bible prophecy and foretold by Israel Hawkins.
Hello and welcome. I'm Kim Kaziaka. We start tonight's broadcast with a story that might shock you. A man in California had a live parasite removed from his brain. 26-year-old Luis Ortiz is recovering after surgeons removed the parasite during an emergency operation. CBS San Francisco reported that Ortiz was experiencing the worst headache of his life prior to being rushed to a medical center. A scan revealed he had a tapeworm in his brain, requiring immediate surgery. Surgeons discovered the larvae of a parasitic tapeworm that had formed in a cyst, blocking off circulation inside Luis's brain. According to reports, Ortiz's neurosurgeon, Dr. Singel, said such parasitic worms in a body aren't too uncommon. The problem occasionally occurs if people eat pork infected with worms, he said. The tapeworm eggs likely made it into Ortiz's intestines from something he ate, and eventually the single larva made it into his brain. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, there are about 1,000 hospitalizations in the U.S. each year for brain infections caused by the pork tapeworm, but say infection from pork tapeworm is a problem worldwide. Tapeworm larvae can cause cysts in the body and are common enough that the World Health Organization calls the problem the most frequent preventable cause of epilepsy worldwide. In a recent newsletter, Israel Hawkins writes, "Today, science proves the inspired scriptures written by Yahweh's holy prophets thousands of years ago to be 100% correct. It makes no difference where pigs or people are raised. The fact is, swine are carriers of parasites that are harmful to the body and brains of man. According to modern science, these parasites cause sicknesses and diseases that are passed to offspring and others around you."
That's right, Kim. And speaking of spreading diseases, popular dating apps are causing quite a stir, with sexually transmitted infections rising with a potentially catastrophic consequence, a leading doctor has warned. Dr. Peter Greenhouse of the British Association for Sexual Health and HIV says that dating apps could trigger disastrous results, including an explosion of HIV, because people can change partners quickly. While many people are voicing out against this new finding, a 19-year-old dating app user from Southeast London told the BBC that he's unsurprised by the link between dating apps and STIs. He's quoted as saying that it's quick and easy, and obviously everything that is quick and easy is not actually safe. Public Health England shows that syphilis increased by 33%, while gonorrhea rose by 19% in 2014. The news follows a similar warning released in the United States, where experts warned of the same effects. In May of this year, the Rhode Island Department of Health revealed from 2013 to 2014, cases of syphilis rose by 79%, gonorrhea by 30%, and HIV by almost 33%. A startling rise that mirrors a national trend. Of course, Israel Hawkins has been teaching about the dangers that dating can bring, saying that dating is something that is very evil. When you go on these apps, you are filling out an application to serve Satan. Swiping actually means to steal, which is what the Pope teaches on the 7 Hills of Rome. We should be teaching our children not to do the things that spread deadly diseases. He continues to say that dating was a curse that would bring America down. And now with more top stories, we'll send it over to our YPN correspondent, Miranda Simon, in our studio. Miranda?
The man with a plan. A perfect plan, he says, to get money for life. State police say Kyle Navin, the adult son of trash-hauling businessmen and a school librarian, faces 2 counts of murder. It is believed that Kyle Navin planned the murder of his parents for money that he wouldn't get if he were cut out of the family's will. The bodies of Jeffrey and Jeanette Navin of Easton, Connecticut, were found outside of a vacant home in neighboring Weston. Sources say Navin is currently being held in a federal prison in Rhode Island on weapons charges. When police contacted his brother in regards to their parents, he responded by saying, "When I heard my parents were missing, I thought to myself, they either went on vacation or my brother did something to them." Yisrael Hawkins shared that according to 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1, in the last days, perilous times will come. Men will be lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers. He went on to expound 2 Timothy chapter 3, saying, people will be lovers of money and disobedient to parents. Yes, the scriptures are indeed being fulfilled, as Daniel chapter 7, verse 25 and Revelations 13 show. Because of the hatred for the laws of Yahweh, people are unthankful, unholy, and without natural affection. Yisrael Hawkins is quoted as saying, "We see this constantly now. We see children rising up against their parents like they had no love at all for that parent who raised them, that bore them and raised them, and Yeshua said it's going to be that way in this time period." Miranda Simon reporting. Charity, Kim, back to you.
Thank you, Miranda. Now we turn our focus to a man whose forthright nature is creating an uproar in the 2016 presidential arena. He continues to bewilder Americans and others abroad by his candid remarks that defy political correctness. And although the majority of Americans question whether he's staging a reality show or a presidential campaign, he still remains one of the leading Republican candidates. Be it his followers who find appeal in his outspoken manner or those who are repulsed by him. In any case, there is no doubt Donald Trump is stealing the spotlight of the 2016 presidential race. The billionaire real estate mogul, now a leading presidential Republican frontrunner, has been accused of being especially insulting to women. In an attack on DNC chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Trump insulted her by calling her crazy and a highly neurotic person. He went on to say of Wasserman, "This is a woman that is a terrible person." And then there's that now infamous attack he did on rival Republican candidate Carly Fiorina when he said of her, "Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president?" Donald Trump has never been shy in his interviews, referring to certain women as a pig, dog, slob, or animal. Not even the men can escape Trump's wrath. He has also made slanderous remarks about other Republican presidential hopefuls, including Ben Carson, saying that he suffers from a pathological disease, and targeted Jeb Bush by retweeting a racist tweet that compares him to a Nazi, mocks his ties to Mexico, and suggests he is intellectually disabled. The list of Trump's insults goes on. These are just a few. Whether it be insults about one's face, mental health, IQ, or culture, he seems to stay immune to the backlash his comments produce, saying, "I don't start these fights, but I sure as hell win them." Yisrael Hawkins says of the minds of the politicians and world leaders today that all they know to do is fight. The world doesn't know what love is or what peace means. Peace doesn't come from war and fighting. Peace doesn't come from retaliation. Yisrael Hawkins promotes the Peaceful Solution Character Education Program, which he says teaches you to care for others. It teaches you to do unto others as you would have them do to you. It trains you to avoid being pulled into attitudes of hatred, fighting, wars, retaliation, and destruction. It trains you to avoid things that are unhealthy, the things that cause sickness, disease, and confusion, as we see throughout the world today.
Confusion is definitely spreading, and not just among our world leaders. Attitudes towards marijuana have undergone a dramatic shift in public opinion, with as many as 58% of Americans in favor of legalizing the drug, compared to only 12% in 1969 when the poll was first taken. Marijuana is the most commonly used illicit drug in the United States, and its effects include rapid heartbeat, disorientation, lack of physical coordination, and is often followed by depression. Some users suffer panic attacks or anxiety, and the long-term effects can be mental illnesses such as paranoia, schizophrenia, infertility in men, and higher risk of birth defects for pregnant women. California became the first state to allow medical marijuana in 1996. Since then, 22 states, including D.C., have followed suit. And in 2014, Colorado became the first state to legalize recreational marijuana use, which made the state over $76 million by business sales and taxes. Marijuana, if you don't know it, is one of the deadliest things there is to the brain. It keeps your brain from actually using new information, Yisrael Hawkins says. He continues to say they're passing laws to support and let people have marijuana. Why? Big business, big money. Legalize marijuana and it will bring pockets full of money.
And if you would like more information, you can contact the House of Yahweh by writing them at P.O. Box 2498, Abilene, Texas 79604, or visit their websites at yahweh.com, YisraelHawkins.com, Yahweh'sBranch.com, or call them toll-free at 1-800-613-9494. That's our report for tonight. I'm Kim Kaziaka.
And I'm Charity Heimerman. On behalf of all of us here at YPN News, thanks for watching.